Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp. We will start here momentarily. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp for this Tuesday, August 10th. Man, I can't believe we're already 10 days into August. It's just flying by. I'm Robert Theobald, Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services at the Arizona Commerce Authority. And I'm glad to be your host today. As always, if you haven't attended with us before, we like to start out by thanking all of our community partners. We could not do these boot camps without our community partners, and these are just a sample of some of those community partners that have brought us some amazing boot camp sessions. So the Small Business Boot Camp is designed to help small businesses work through the COVID crisis and return stronger than ever. It is a statewide initiative supported by all those community partners, and not only is it these webinars that we do every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. It is a resource collective and a content library. So let's dive in a little bit deeper about those two items. So the resource collective is a website that we set up. You can link to it through the main bootcamp webpage. And it contains tools and guides and resources brought to us by our community partners to help support small businesses run more effectively. There are a great list of tools. There's marketing strategies, business essentials, etc. So there's a great, again, resource for you that is available. Additionally, we record all of these bootcamp sessions, about 99% of them. There's some licensing ones that we can't get around, but most of them have been recorded, and we include them in the archive section on the bootcamp webpage. And this has created a diverse collection of about 160 different webinars, creating a pretty massive content library of expert training. So if there's a topic or some information you want to go back and review, you can go in the archive and look through the different weeks. If you're not finding something, feel free to reach out to us and we can guide you to a session or two that may help you with that topic. But the resource, the content library, the archive section, it's available to everyone. There's no cost to review those videos. They also include the slide decks from our presenters from that day, so you have the materials to review the content at your pace. Great resource, and everybody's welcome to access it. Two other great resources to help you navigate through COVID is the state's COVID-19 information and resource website, arizonatogether.org. And then to help businesses throughout Arizona during COVID-19, the Arizona Commerce Authority set up azcommerce.com/COVID-19. And it is the COVID-19 Arizona Business Resources website. And on there you can find some business guidance, some funding opportunities and information, along with a lot of other great information related to businesses during COVID-19. The ACA also has a number of programs to help support small businesses, not just during COVID-19, but at any time. But these are great programs to help you as you move forward with your business. Our Small Business Services, our Workforce Division, and our Arizona Manufacturing Extension Partnership, MEP. Also, for those looking to start a small business, we have our small business checklist. And this is an interactive guide or interactive resource to help guide people through the licensing, registration, and compliance needs of starting a business in Arizona and your in particular city or cities you'll be working in and industries. There's a lot of great information on this checklist. It is very in-depth. And you can see it also includes information on business planning and marketing and procurement, as well as the licensing, registration, and compliance. So with that, I want to transition to some business updates. So first, PPP loan forgiveness. The SBA is trying to help make it easier for small businesses to get forgiveness of their PPP loans. You do need to apply for forgiveness. And with that, we're going to post some links for all this information in the chat. So you don't have to scramble to write everything down, but you'll be able to link to it. But the PPP loan forgiveness, the SBA just set up a new portal that loans for under $150,000 can go on that portal and apply directly for forgiveness through that system, through the SBA. It will connect with your lender. Your lender does have to participate in the portal, but we're going to have more details on that on a special boot camp session tomorrow afternoon. So I will talk about that a little bit more here in a second. Additionally, the employee retention credit, can't talk enough about this option. This is a pretty sizable funding possibility for your business. It can be complicated. Please reach out to your accountant and find out more about it, because if you qualify, there can be some pretty significant dollars available to you. Additionally, the EIDL is still open. The target advance is still open to eligible businesses. So we'll post a link in this so you can see if you're an eligible business. And then the Arizona Innovation Challenge applications are still ongoing. If you're a tech startup that may be interested in that program. So with that, let's look at some upcoming sessions. Of course, today we have our operational excellence, customer service as a differentiating factor. We're real excited to hear that one. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, we have a special session, a paycheck protection program update. And we're going to talk a lot about that SBA forgiveness portal. It will be brought to us by Amber Cordova of Prestamo CDFI. They are a lender and they are very involved and understand the portal and how it works. And so we're excited to have them do that. That is at 2 p.m. So it's not at 9 a.m. our normal times. It's going to be tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. And then Thursday, we have strategies to engage today's workforce. This is a part 2 of our 3-part series from the Society of Human Resource Management, Arizona chapter. And then next week, we will have gaps, the space between where you are and where you want to be. And the 3rd part of the SHRM, the Society of Human Resource Management series of talent acquisition strategies. So we've got a great lineup over the next couple of weeks. We hope you can attend all of them, and we invite you to. But with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's sessions. Today's speaker, we've got Karen Eads and Marie Plotowski-Beals from the Yavapai College Small Business Development Centers. They've been on with us before. They're great presenters, and we're looking forward to this session. So Karen and Marie, we'll turn the time over to you.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Let me share my screen here real quick. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that. So we're going to talk about customer service as a differentiating factor this morning. There we go. Okay, so why is this important? Think about how many businesses you interact with on a daily basis. How many provide truly memorable service? It's hard to think of any, isn't it? That's because excellent service takes work and dedication. It's easy to assume you're providing good customer service. After all, how hard can it be? If the customer needs help, you help them. If the customer has a problem, you fix it, right? But providing excellent customer service consistently is really very difficult. Do your employees know what excellent customer service looks like? It is really important that your employees know exactly what's expected of them and what good service looks like. One more thing, no matter what position you aspire to, you will always have someone as your customer. If you develop a truly dedicated attitude towards customers, it will only help your career. What it all boils down to is a service attitude or a customer focus. But how can you develop your own customer service attitude? Below are some examples of specific things you can do to fine-tune your appreciation for customer service. The first to apply if you supervise others, the last to apply to everybody. Number 1, help hire employees with a good customer service attitude. That is really important. Point out examples of positive customer attitudes among coworkers. You can incentivize your employees and point out those good attitudes. Think in terms of customer impact. How can you delight your customer? And create a personal challenge to constantly improve your service.
All right. So also hire back to hiring employees with a good customer service attitude. So finding employees with a good customer focus is difficult, especially in industries that typically have high turnover or a high percentage of temporary positions. Offer to assist your manager in interviewing job applicants. Question them on their customer service experience. I like to write brief narratives describing typical customer service questions and problems that can be used in the interview, then challenge the applicants on how they would handle that situation. For instance, when I'm hiring a reception, I often give her this scenario. I tell her, what if you answer the phone and the caller starts laying into you because the person they're trying to reach has been avoiding them and not returning their calls? What would you do or say? I mean, right off the block, I can think of a lot of wrong answers, right? Like, why is that my problem? Or what am I supposed to do about it? Instead, say, let me try and connect you with someone else that can help you. Then connect them with a supervisor or someone who could truly help them.
So point out examples of positive customer attitudes among coworkers. Attitude can be difficult to describe because it's intangible, not something which is easy to spot like behaviors. But a good customer attitude manifests itself as good customer behaviors. Here's a way you can talk about customer attitudes with your coworkers and make it meaningful. Watch for examples of especially good customer service among your peers. Make sure they're especially good. You don't want to reinforce a mediocre standard. When you identify an example, write up what you observed the employee doing. Share it with your manager or the employee involved. The simple technique is very effective. It recognizes specific examples of especially good customer service, heightens your appreciation for good service, reinforcing a customer focus because peer feedback is viewed as more credible and valid. Motivating employees. Everybody likes positive feedback, right? Trust me, the employee will try even harder to keep getting those accolades.
Always think in terms of customer impact. Think beyond the immediate task to what impact it will have on your customer. Get into the habit of thinking about customer impact every time a problem comes up. Don't forget the customer is king. Without the customer, you don't have a business. Bill Gates says that your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. For instance, if you're an employee, don't think like if you're a dishwasher or the kitchen help, don't think, I need to get these dishes done. The kitchen is backing up. Instead, try, I need to get these dishes done. Our customers are waiting for a table. If you're a mechanic, instead of thinking, I need to clean up this workstation, instead try saying to yourself, I need to clean up this workstation because we want our customers to view the environment as professional and inviting. If you're a bank teller, don't think, this week has been so busy, I just need to make it until Friday. Instead, say, we've been busy, but I need to keep a positive attitude. Our customers deserve the same fast, friendly service I've always provided.
If you constantly draw reference to customers and the impact your job can have on them, you will quickly develop a truly customer-oriented attitude. This is an easy technique to master. With enough practice, it will become almost mechanical. Create a personal challenge to constantly improve your service. A teller supervisor at a large bank implemented a process by which customers who submitted a complaint were called back within 24 hours. It was difficult because employees didn't always have the time to contact customers. However, customers appreciated that fast response and the fact that their complaint hadn't fallen into a black hole. The teller leader was pleased with the positive reaction, but wanted to turn up the service another notch. So she implemented a 10 most wanted program. She posted a list of customers who had complained about service problems in a place where each teller could see the names. Customers, of course, could not see this. Tellers were challenged to collect a bounty on the most wanted customers by catching them during another visit. Don't you often visit the same bank branch? If the teller did catch the customer, they would ask them if they had a minute to speak to the manager. If so, the manager would simply ask something like, Mr. X, I understood you had a problem a while back with our service. I was just wondering if everything has met your satisfaction since then. Usually the customer about falls over from the attention, right? We don't normally get that type of attention. The employee collected a $25 bounty and a free lunch. Point is, even if you're providing good service, you can always provide great service. Always look for creative ways to constantly raise the bar.
So in this next section, we're going to consider some recommended approaches to dealing with some of your most common customer service interactions, such as telephone greetings, transferring calls, putting customers on hold, and resolving problems. So as a rule of thumb, don't let the phone ring more than 3 rings before someone answers it. If you have to put someone on hold, ask them if they can hold for a moment. I like to say, I'll be right with you, instead of please hold. Then you should check back every 40 to 60 seconds saying you'll be right back with them. If you're unable to take the call within 3 rings, program your voicemail greeting saying you are assisting other customers and to leave a name and number, and then seriously get right back to them. If you need to answer calls for another person, answer by saying something like, good afternoon. Thank you for calling the law offices. How can I help you? You like my reception voice? Also, please make sure you find out the caller's name and what the call is regarding before transferring the call. Then announce the call and the reason the customer is calling. This will help prepare your coworker on how to handle the call, and they can repeat the customer's name. Everyone likes hearing their own name. It puts people at ease as long as you're pronouncing it correctly. For instance, I'm Marie, not Maria, not Mary, and not Mare. So you could say, it's Marie on the line, and she needs a copy of her latest invoice so she can pay, or some other informative introduction.
So regarding resolving problems, the first thing is listen and don't interrupt. Nothing is worse than interrupting somebody when they're talking, especially when they're complaining about something. Take notes. If you can't resolve the problem, direct the problem to the person that can. If you can't resolve the problem, apologize. That's so important. And offer suggestions that might help. If the suggestions don't work, offer alternatives. Like, I am so sorry for your wait. Can I offer a dessert, right? Or I am so sorry your entrees came out at different times. I will take the first round of drinks off the tab. Or I am sorry your internet went out today. We will comp you for a day of internet service. It's really important to empower your employees so that they know what they can offer to resolve problems. Research shows that if you are apologetic, empathetic, competent, and deliver on your commitment, most customers will not only forgive most infractions, but will actually walk away with a positive impression of your company. It seems customers expect companies to make mistakes, but are more surprised when they correct them to their satisfaction. Here are a few brief tips for using these business tools in a way which will ensure that your customers' impressions of you, your service, and your company are very positive.
So for instance, voicemail. Most customers don't like leaving a voicemail as it is. They want an answer or help as soon as possible. If a customer gets your voicemail, be sure it provides the following: your name and department, today's date. That means you need to re-record it every single day. An idea of when you'll return or your availability, what to do, who to call if it's an emergency. Your email. These are all business tools that we use every day. It's the reality of today's business world. More and more business is being conducted over the internet. It's fast, it's universal, it's easily accessible from anywhere in the world, and it's here to stay. So make it work for you. If you're exchanging emails with a customer, do him or her a favor. Avoid attachments if possible, Everyone's worried about catching a virus now, right? Make yours easy to manage, assuming your email is just one of many your customer is going to be sifting through. So make yours especially professional, and your service will stand out even more. Here's how. Number 1, be brief but specific. Number 2, include your company name or department. Number 3, use an action-oriented subject line like meeting request, review proposal, issue resolved. Number 4, clearly state what action you'd like the customer to take, if any. Number 5, copy only those that are necessary. Otherwise, you're just going to blow up somebody's email box. Include your phone, fax, and cell phone number if possible. Here are a few tips to keep in mind when managing your own email. Check your email at least 3 times a day. Keep your mailing list updated. Keep a specific folder for each customer rather than mixing all messages.
Expectations. The first rule of stellar service delivery is service is all about expectations. You buy a product, you expect it to work the first time, right? You go to a discount supplier, you expect the quality to be less than the high-end dealer, but you still expect what you buy to work, right? First time, every time. When it comes to products, expectations are pretty clear. People expect a good quality product based on the price they are willing to pay for it. But when it comes to service, expectations can get a little fuzzy. When a customer begins a relationship with you, he or she already has a specific set of expectations. These expectations are based on their perceptions of you, your company, and your industry, maybe even your online presence. They are formed through personal past experience and the experience of others with whom the customer interacts. Consider the last time you went into a self-service gas station. What did you expect other than the pump to be working? Not much else, right? After all, you are doing all the work. You weren't expecting someone to come pump your gas for you, right? So delight or outrage. You have the opportunity to satisfy, dissatisfy, or impress. And 2 of these are bad, right? Delivering below expectations is obviously bad. But in the context of creating loyalty, is simply satisfying customers because they are getting nothing more or less than they expect enough? No, not really. Creating customer value and loyalty and referrals and repeat customers come from consistently exceeding expectations. One of the things I like to teach in this area is that repeat customers are so easy to deal with. You have already gotten to know them. You have already at least met their expectations, possibly more. Referrals come from happy customers. And they do come, referrals from happy customers do come, but they come more slowly. Super happy customers are the ones that sing your praises over and over, and they are the ones that send you good buying customers.
Okay, at the other end of the spectrum, it's possibly to utterly offend the basic needs of your customers that they'll willingly take every opportunity to sabotage your business. They'll tell every person who will listen about the time your business, did yada, yada, yada. Each time they repeat it, and they will, they're likely to embellish the story. With social media, it can do irreparable harm to your business, and you could never get it off the web. So everyone's going to see it.
So basic attributes for top-notch customer service: personable service. Always give customers your full attention. If they've waited for service, apologize for the inconvenience. Always treat customers with respect. Make eye contact to demonstrate trust and confidence. Offer your name and call the customer by his or hers. Always maintain a positive attitude. That's so important. Offer follow-up and assistance after the interaction, and thank the customer for his or her patronage. Have a sense of urgency. Confirm the customer's expectation for service delivery, such as when will you need this? Return calls promptly. No one likes to wait for a return phone call. And then make sure you escalate issues immediately. Follow through and do not assume someone else is going to own the problem. Clearly communicate. Speak slowly and clearly. Confirm you understand the customer's question or problem by paraphrasing your understanding. If I understand correctly, you need this unit replaced with our other model and a new one overnight as soon as possible. Confirm the customer understands you. Did I clearly explain the product features, or are there parts I should go over again? Recognize the customer's level of product knowledge and adjust your terminology accordingly. Product and service knowledge. Make sure you understand every facet of your products and services from the customer's view. This is really important for all of your employees, right? Be comfortable explaining various options depending on the customer's price range and what their product needs are.
So in conclusion, in today's highly competitive market, and given the current economic situation, no one can afford to lose customers. The service you provide is the only differentiating factor you have, which will contribute to greater customer retention, referrals, and loyalty. Applying what we've covered in this webinar is a good first step. Like any other profession, service providers need to learn as much as they can about what they need to know and do in order to add value in their interactions with customers. I encourage you to enhance your capabilities, hire staff with the right attitude. Remember, when you're not there, they represent you, your brand, and the entire organization and product. Continue to learn what you need to learn in order to maximize your customer's experience. Use your experiences in other segments to see how you were treated to know what and how to treat your clients or customers. Now, does anyone have any questions? Are there any questions in the chat, Faith?
There are currently none in the chat, but I am sharing that in the chat for those to post. Please post in the Q&A and we'll be sure to keep those in track so we can answer those for you.
So I have a quick question while we're waiting for others to ask. Sometimes in your business, people say that the customer is always the boss, but sometimes you get those customers that don't help you and don't help them. When would you want to say no to someone being your customer?
Well, tell me what you mean by that. I mean, you can divorce customers, you can divorce clients. Sometimes you have to do that because they'll, even if they're going to post a bad review, and you'll have to answer that review, if it's on social media. So if you're in a restaurant and somebody posts a bad Yelp review for you, you'll need to answer that so that others can see what happened. If somebody says, oh, the fish was dry and whatever, maybe you'll post, well, you did order it without sauce. So the customers that are bad customers, you really don't want them. They're more trouble than they're worth. And sometimes you just have to let them go, even in today's environment.
I think it's also important to really understand what it is they want and can you meet their needs, because sometimes maybe it's not the right fit.
Excellent. Great response. That's what I was kind of hoping to hear. All right, it says we have a question that popped up in the chat. It says, what sort of training is available for customer service, following up and qualifying leads? Also training to help customer service members ask questions on understanding customer wants and needs.
What kind of training is available? I mean, watching these kind of webinars, and making sure that when you hire people with a good attitude. You can't, and it's tough right now, right? Because employees are hard to find, but You can train them with soft skills yourself. You can train them to be polite. You can train them to make eye contact. You can train them to give the right answers. You can empower them, as Karen said, to resolve things with the dessert, or resolve things with, a day of internet or something like that. You just have to train them that way. You have to come up with the answers. You're going to have problems. Every business has problems. So you're going to have to empower the employees on how to handle those problems.
I think communication with your employees is really important, right? It goes back to setting expectations with your employees, but making sure that they understand the expectations of their customers and their clients, and that they can respond to them. But I really think that empowerment is so important. They have to know that they're empowered to resolve the problem, or that they know what the path is to get it resolved, like who they can talk to. Because nothing's worse than somebody who's upset, going on and on and on about an issue, talking to somebody that they think can resolve the problem, and then they find out that person that they've just gone off on can't do anything about it. So I think empowering employees, communicating with them, making sure that they have the product and the service knowledge is really important. And that's something that you can do in your own business. That's not external training.
One thing that I think is also important, we had some questions about training and hiring employees for customer service, is in that interview, make sure you ask them a simple question of, tell me a time when you had to deal with an upset customer, or, something of that nature. So that way they can tell you about how they've handled it in the past, because that past performance usually indicates future performance. And it's called a behavioral question. It's a common technique in interviewing, but it often becomes hard because a lot of times people can't think of that instance, but it can tell you a lot when they do and how they've dealt with it. And then you can, probe a little bit more with questions to see how they've dealt with tough situations, whether it's with a customer, in school, with a classmate. If they're just coming out of school and they don't have a lot of work experience, they may have had a situation with a teacher or a classmate or a project team member that they didn't get along with, and you can find out how they dealt with people and handled it to get an idea of how they may respond to an angry customer that's getting in their face at some point. So
yeah, I often give them a brief scenario like this. What would you do if this happened? How would you handle this situation? Like I said, with the receptionist, hiring a receptionist, what would you do if you answer the phone, you're all nice, you have all your customer service skills, and then somebody starts laying into you because Robert Theobald did not return their call and they're angry, right? So now I need to cover for you as a receptionist and calm that person down and let them know that, you're doing webinars today all day. You're not going to be available to answer calls until after 4 o'clock or something like that. You have to give them a scenario sometimes of what will come up, what kind of problems come up in your business.
Another thing that I found, I spent more than 20 years in front-facing customer service roles and retail management, and a lot of customers just want someone to say, let me try. They know that the answer is no. They know that there's a policy or a rule around why there's a no, but just saying, let me see what I can do. And then come back with a solution, not just a no, but some type of solution. It could be simple. Well, I can't do this, but here's what I can do. And, it may not meet their needs, but at least you're bringing them a solution instead of just having them walk into a wall of no.
Yeah, that's the whole empowerment that I think Karen was talking about, and making sure that when you onboard them and you're training them, you can give them those answers so that they walk in the back and they're like, oh yeah, ding, 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 I can do this, and And now I can go back and say, well, I can't give you a full refund, but I can offer 20% off or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how many times I knew something was out of stock because I looked for it earlier that morning for another customer, and the customer's asking, and they're really, persistent. And I'm like, let me just go looking back, and I'll walk in back and look again, even though I know we don't have any. But that little extra effort is what the customers, they appreciate it.
Right.
It wasn't going to take much more of my time to do that. So, it always proved helpful.
Yeah, I had that experience this past weekend. I went to a store and I asked about some shoes, and they're like, everything is on the floor. Everything that we have is on the floor. Well, is it? Could he have gone in the back and looked for a size 6? He could have done exactly that. He could have gone back, and then I would have thanked him and I would have been happy. I would have been, okay, well, he checked for me. But to say to me, everything that we have is on the floor, that's not a customer-oriented attitude. That's a, I don't want to deal with you attitude. That's like, go away, you're in my face, And the difference is go in the back, and look around and no, they're not here, and come back and say, I'm sorry, we don't have your size 6 in that shoe.
Excellent. What else? Any other questions from our participants? Please, if you have questions around customer service, please bring those up. One of the things about some training, though, that did come up, people were asking about what training options there are. I would encourage you to reach out to your local SBDC and see if they have any local contacts, or they may be experts in it as well, because I know some of our SBDC analysts and directors around the state have a lot of experience in customer service. Another piece is there's a lot of learning companies out there, programs, lynda.com, LinkedIn Learning. There's a number of them that have some really good training on their programs. So for example, I've been with companies where they've paid for us to have access to LinkedIn Learning, and as part of the professional development, we can go on and review a number of the training courses. And I've personally seen some of their customer service training pieces that they have. And these are by, various different people. There's probably hundreds on LinkedIn Learning as an example of different presenters talking about customer service. And you can pick the ones that might work best for you. And again, there's Udemy, Lynda, there's a bunch of companies that do that. So it's something you may look at, getting a license and providing that to your employees.
There's also a lot of great YouTube videos on customer service.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to if you have a problem with an employee that doesn't have a good customer service attitude, but the employee's good, he's reliable and that sort of thing, and you need to retain him, right? Because it's hard to find employees. Then have him watch some videos. She or he watch some videos so that they learn some of these techniques, because it's not that hard to make people feel appreciated, make clients feel appreciated when you go into somebody's business. It's not that hard.
There is also a National Customer Service Association that you can look at too. They have a website that provides training and different opportunities as well.
That's a great resource.
Another resource, another piece that you have that's no cost is do some role plays with your employees on customer service. That way, one of the employees can pretend to be that angry, grumpy, upset customer, and it's a safe scenario, but it's a real scenario. It's how are they going to react when someone comes back at them in a way they weren't expecting. So role playing is silly sometimes as it seems, it does provide a great learning opportunity.
That's a great idea.
I think it's also good to share in team meetings and that, like different scenarios that may have come up so other employees can learn from what transpired and how it was handled. So if somebody did something well, I think we talked about that, right? Make sure you point it out and share it with the rest of the team. those are all learning opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Highlight those wins.
So Karen, you want to hit that last slide and go over that, what the SBDC offers?
Yeah, is it up now?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, this is our SBDC slide. This talks about all the services that we have available, and these are no-cost services to you, to any of our clients. So we offer free confidential counseling, affordable workshops, just like this. We partner with the ACA to do these workshops. We also have some of our own workshops. We have great local partnerships with our chambers, with our economic groups, with the ACA, and with the broader, if you think about the SBDC, we're part of this huge national network, right? We have a lot of resources available to us. So if we don't have the answers, we can find somebody that does have the answers. And then lastly, I guess I would say, we also can help clients get access to SBA and microloans. So we spend a lot of time with clients helping them write business plans and financial forecasts so that they go to a bank or any other lender for financing. So those are the services that we do. We have a really strong, knowledgeable team, and we cover areas of marketing and business planning and financing, all that. So a great resource and a no-cost confidential resource. So thank you for that.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, the SBDC is a great resource, no-cost resource for everybody out there to reach out and connect with. Highly encourage that. So with that, since there are no other questions, we will give everybody back about 15 minutes to their day. So you can, if you're like me, you have another meeting coming up, you can take that time to prepare for it or refill your water or coffee or soda or whatever you're drinking this morning and continue with the day. But we appreciate everybody being here with us. We appreciate Karen and Marie for their great presentation. With that, we hope everybody can join us tomorrow, Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. for our special session on PPP forgiveness. We may have some other updates with some other programs that are going on as well. So please join us. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.